I love
Hello,
your mic.
is it working? Can you hear me? I'm really loud, so even if it wasn't here, I think you'd hear me. So, all right, well, hey, how's everyone doing today? Right? I know we just had lunch, so most of you are probably half asleep. But first, before we get too into it, I just want to say I have really enjoyed Tel Aviv. This is my first time here, and you guys, this city is something special. I have never felt more fat, unfashionable, and ugly than walking around on the beach here. Like, holy crap, I don't know what is in the water, but we need more of it. I definitely need more of it because I might look cool and attractive by the time I leave. Whether it's the mud of the Dead Sea, there's something special here. So now, today we are going to be talking about, as they said, affiliate marketing mastery and tips to bring your program to the next level. Exciting stuff, long titles. But before we get into that, we're going to cover some things. I'm actually going to skip over that. I want to tell you who I am, besides a man with too many consonants in his last name. This is the obligatory slide that says, oh, he's done some things. I've been in direct response marketing for about 5 years. Prior to that, I was in accounting, so obviously transferable skills. I've been with CLICKBANK for 4 of those years, and I managed over $200 million in revenue at CLICKBANK over that time, various launches and all sorts of different things. But that's kind of the boring stuff, right? Who am I really? What does that mean, right? This is just numbers on a board. Well, for many of you, this is me. And so if you're wondering, is there a chin underneath that beard? What is he hiding? Is it butt? Is it weird? Pretty normal. It just absorbs in my chin pretty nicely. And this lovely woman next to me many years ago was my wife. We've been together for about 15 years and have 4 kids. And she, as you could probably tell, puts up with a lot. So I always like to mention that to her. I'm also a huge fan of football, American football. I understand it's not as good as a football here, but it's what I know. And also cartoons. In fact, I have a big old tattoo on my leg with all sorts of various cartoons. Because I'm a bit of a nerd, right? So these are things that are important to me and I really enjoy. I also love the macabre. Serial killers are super interesting. I don't know why they're so interesting. I don't admire them, but man, why do they do it? So I'm a big fan of that through podcasts and various true crimes. I also love cults, not only for their delicious drinks and Kool-Aid, but man, if that is not a cool outfit, who doesn't want to wear something like that? Also, they are some of the best marketers in the industry. If you ever want to know how to segment an audience and get them to do stuff that otherwise they should not be doing, boy, cult leaders are pretty good at that. I'm a big fan of podcasts. Not only do I co-host the podcast for CLICKBANK, but I listen to far too many of them. AirPods have not helped with that situation as I cut out most of humanity. And I'm also a big fan of music, right? Varying from hardcore metal, pop music to Glenn Miller, all of it except for modern day country, which hopefully has not made it over to Europe yet. I'd like it to stay in America and away from most people that have more than 4 teeth in their mouth. Okay. So, on top of that, you could probably tell why I don't have that fit body of Tel Aviv is I'm a man that loves food, trying all of it, sweets, and all sorts of delicious things. Also, I'm a big fan of stand-up comedy. It's one of my favorite things. It's great. I really enjoy it. And you might be asking, why the hell is this guy asking or talking about all this stuff? This doesn't seem relevant to marketing. And the reason being is because far too often, I see this all the time, that people look at affiliates and they think, that's just a number as an offer owner. That's a number that I have in a report somewhere. That's an EPC. That's something that's bringing something in, and that's not what you should do. You need to remember that affiliates are people. They're not numbers. They have interests. They have hobbies. They have families. They have things that are important to them, and these are really important things that you need to focus on. But at the same time, where that's key to building a relationship, relationships without profits, they're empty, right? If you don't have performance tied to it, if you're not structuring where we're all winning, you're not going to have a good affiliate relationship. And this is super critical, especially when you're hiring affiliate managers. Far too often we get people that are good at making friends. They go to all the parties, they have all the drinks, they rack up a really nice bar tab that later you have to expense and think, boy, I hope that was good ROI. Well, you probably found someone that's really good at getting to know people, but they don't care about the second part, that every single one of those relationships should be tied to a profit. So I wanted to kind of start this out because that's a theme that we're going to circle back to. But it's really important to remember that we need to make sure that we have that relationship, but we know exactly what's going on. The affiliates, with their business, their life, what things are going on, but we need to make sure we're structuring that around profits, something that's going to make your business money and bring it around. So let's move on. We're going to actually talk about, I said it was an accounting background, so how could I not talk about numbers in this type of a presentation here? What data matters? So in affiliate marketing, we all know there are so many acronyms. For all those that first entered in, you're like, man, can we just say like a word without having to make an acronym just one time? That'd be really nice. So some of the ones that we commonly see, EPC, profit per million, or we have our click-through rates, open rates, conversions, revenue. These are all numbers that we think about, we talk about, and I constantly get people saying, which one matters? Which one's the most important? Now, before that, if you're even curious about some of these, you're looking at this, you're like, what is that? Oftentimes you get like PPM, people aren't sure what that means. This link below on here, you could go and it's going to give you all the glossary terms and so much more that you might need to know about affiliate marketing. But to answer the question, what data matters? What the affiliate cares about. That's the data that matters. Now, it seems kind of weird. You would think, why would, that seems so obvious, but I can't tell you how many times I'm talking about offer owners, they've been doing affiliate marketing for a long time, and they think about the numbers that are important to them. They don't think about the numbers that are important to the affiliate. And why that's such a problem is oftentimes they have a send, they go to an affiliate, they look at the numbers, they're like, holy cow, that got 1.97 EPC. Oh my gosh. They got a $3 EPC. Holy cow, I am crushing it. They get to their email, they get to their Skype, they send out to the affiliate and go, dude, you're killing it. You just made the best send ever. Only to get a delayed email response back that goes, not really. I didn't do very well because you were looking at the wrong numbers. Those affiliates didn't care about EPC. Maybe your CTR and your CTR sucks, so not enough clicks came through. They cared more about revenue. Maybe their traffic source, they're looking for something substantially higher. And you missed the mark because it's a very warm email list. So where you thought a $3 EPC was good, they were looking for a $6 EPC. It's constantly missing the mark. And we go back to that relationship thing. Maybe you know a lot about their dogs and you guys had a really good conversation about some food you were eating, but now they sit there and think, they don't even know my business. This is just a pain in the butt that I have to go through because this offer isn't doing well and these people think it is good. And now you've hurt that relationship because you missed out on the part that we need to have profits. We even have a business mindset. So how do we take care of that? Well, one of the biggest things is you need to make sure that you're tracking it and documenting exactly. I think one of the big parts here is documenting the benchmarks that matter for the affiliates. Far too often, especially in important affiliate relationships, no one ever asks, hey, cool, I'm glad you agreed to send to me. What does success look like to you? What's going to tell me that this is a good send, that you're happy with what you happen to see? So this is an example, and you can see, obviously, I'm doing a great job with my affiliates. We're very diverse, and they're big ones. We have Joe Rogan, JJ Virgin, Dave Asprey, hot ones for all those fans of hot wings, things like that, right? This is just merely here to be able to try and convey some stuff. So these are made-up numbers, but this is something that I have coached and trained tons of affiliate managers to do and our clients to do, of creating something like this. And the important things I want to point out, there's lots of things in here that a lot of people are tracking, right? We see that we have clicks. We see that we have our sale count for initial sales. We have revenue, and we're looking at EPC, AOV. Conversion as well. Now, I'll tell you PPM, most people can't calculate that or don't calculate that because they don't know enough information to be able to do that. We'll talk about that in a second. Before that, I want to point out a couple of columns that people do not tend to do. One, it's going to sound crazy, but source. I can't tell you how many times I see people, they get an affiliate to promote to them, and they don't actually really pay attention to what the source of traffic is and what that means and how that changes what the affiliate's expectations are, what they might need, right? Make sure you're documenting that, especially if you think you go to an event and you're an affiliate manager or an offer owner, you got like 30 different affiliates and they're all sending, and you didn't document that down, you might completely forget what that traffic source is or document it down incorrectly. The other column that people do not do, and I had mentioned before, is this benchmarks column. And you can see in here what I've done is we've created exactly what marker of success they're looking for. And it might vary. Each affiliate's different. We have some that have a revenue mark in here, some that are looking at EPC, some that are looking at PPM because that's what matters to them. And you just need to understand that number. It might be something on here that we don't even have. It doesn't really matter what the number is. It's just that you know what it is, you document it, and then take one extra step, which we go all the way to column K, which I wasn't aware is the letter of my first name, and it's so important, but obviously it's just serendipitous that we do that. But you can see here we have things like failed, great, failed, expectation. What does that mean? Why is that there? So again, accounting background. This is actually using a very simple logic formula. And what it does is anytime I put in a benchmark, I go over to that column K, and you just build a logic formula that says, if this fails, I don't wait to find out if it failed when I load in my data into my spreadsheet. It's already going to tell me. So I know, hey, that went under their expectations. So if I'm an affiliate manager, I just go and filter my column and look at all the sends in the last week that did not succeed. Why that's so important is because now I could reach out, and instead of having to go and say, oh, that had a great EPC, how are you feeling about that, right? Like if we look at example here, we could see, well, all these had bad EPCs, but potentially you might think a 76-cent EPC is good based on what traffic you might have, but it wasn't, right? It failed the expectation. But when they have that, they could reach out right away. We're going to talk about what that conversation will look like a little bit later, but ultimately it allows you to be proactive. Like for affiliates that are in here, you have a lot of stuff going on. When an offer doesn't go well, do you want to sit there and figure out why? Or do you want to say, I have 10 to 20 to 50 to 100 other offers I could go test that might do better? It's going to be the latter. It is not your job to figure out why an offer failed. But it definitely is the offer owner's job to reach out, tell you, hey, it looks like we fell short of your expectations. Here's the things that we could do next, right? Here's how we could help get it to the next level for you, whether it's a make right, whatever it might be. We go back again to we have to make sure that we have the relationships with profits. Because we're going to erode all the good conversations we had by just letting them fail and sit there and struggle. At the same time, what happens if that send went great? You know, we could high five all day back in our rooms, but if we are not proactively trying to capitalize on that great send with another one or more promotions and ensuring that we're going to lock an affiliate for a lifetime, we're completely missing out on ways to start scaling and more rapidly scaling our affiliate programs. I also put just kind of expectation there. I will tell you personally, if it's expectation, you could reach out if you want to. Oftentimes, that might not be the primary focus. It depends how much time and affiliates you're managing. I like to focus on those polar opposite ends because you're going to have inflection points for future sends. Circling back to this, so I will tell you, obviously, if you don't know how to do if logic formulas, please come to me afterwards. It's pretty simple. Google's a great resource for it. And I said also PPM. This is kind of a tough calculation. So it's just important to know that if you're an affiliate is saying that PPM is important to them, don't feel embarrassed if you don't know how they're calculating it. Because I will tell you, where there is a calculation for this, not all affiliates do it right. So find out how they're calculating it, get the numbers that you don't have access to, plug it into your system so you can still figure that out. You should be able to do that because you know ultimate revenue and they know ultimate sends, which is really basically going to be that calculation. So that being said, when you could reach out and be proactive, that leads to the next thing, which is now I could start creating win-win-win solutions. So I don't know if The Office is popular over here, but that's where the win-win-win comes from all your Michael Scott fans out there. But what does that really mean? What I'm really looking for is we have to start thinking about, in these situations, oftentimes you see a lot of people going out with affiliates and focusing on how they're going to win, but not how everyone's going to win. How's my affiliate going to win? How am I going to win? Instead, it's just, how am I going to get more customers? So these are some key questions that I recommend people start asking to build some real win-win solutions once you have one of those inflection points, whether it's something failed or we had a really great send, or there's other scenarios we'll cover through. But first, you need to know for your big affiliates, obviously not all of them, how do they make money? And lots of us might go, oh, well, affiliate commissions. Not necessarily. Lots of companies or affiliates out there are doing a lot more than just affiliate marketing. You need to know that. How do they get customers if they happen to be acquiring them? You need to understand that, right? And what do they do outside of working with you? They might be doing other things. Now that's going to be important when we go into some of the ways that we could start working together and creating better solutions and contracts. And we'll jump into it right now. One of the first things when we see win-win-win that I see a lot of people think if an affiliate did well, or even an affiliate didn't do well, is that they think, I'm going to throw more money at the problem. Bigger commissions, higher CPA. The problem with that is, what if it's not tied to anything, right? More money should only come with more expectations or more performance. If you don't have some sort of expectation, if I'm giving you money, what is it buying me, right? So sometimes I can't tell you how many times I see people boost commissions and their traffic goes down because they didn't understand what the affiliate was struggling with. Maybe they actually needed new creatives. And now that you offer them more money, good luck offering them less. As an affiliate in here, who here enjoys when someone says, hey, I'm going to lower your CPA? Anyone excited about that? No, no way. So be very, very careful and intentional and understand if I'm increasing commissions, it better be increasing or maintaining sales. Or if it's something relational, what is it buying me, right? Really, really important. Don't be like an American government and just decide to flood cash in and hope things work out for the best. Next, and this is, I can't tell you how underutilized this is. Far too often we think about our affiliate marketing very singularly. Find other places and other real estate that's really valuable, especially if you do email marketing, email affiliates, to get more consistent traffic. We don't want to look like mountains and valleys with our affiliates. So how do we get in a more regular cadence? Thank you page offers are a fantastic win-win-win. It's real estate that's shockingly underutilized. You've already got them to buy. You're going to say, thanks, thumbs up, cool, here's what happens next. What if instead we decide to put an offer right there? Now, every single time they have a buyer, which is already proven to work and they like our products, instead of me waiting for them to send an email, boom, it's right there. I could go on and have some sort of offer. It needs to be something that is definitely going to be promo-based. Free is great here, a discount, a coupon, an irresistible offering is going to be really, really good. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is actually Dr. Kareem that does this, and they are fantastic at it. Their primary source of affiliate revenue is on a thank you page because it's so consistent, and it's also real estate that isn't evaluated that often. It's not competitive. You could sit there for months and months and months, even years sometimes, getting consistent traffic for your offers by something as simple as just providing a banner ad and a link to drive to it. Next, autoresponder. Very similar thing, right? If you already see your email swipes are doing well, instead of waiting for them to figure out they have enough affiliates, just get in the buying sequence. Say, hey, on the 5th day, I want to be in your 5th day slot on an email. Boom, same response. Consistent revenue. Another one, JV upsells. I talked before about you need to understand their business. How are they making money? They might also find out they might have struggles, right? So if they're using affiliate marketing as well, they might really need a larger AOV. And you know they don't have enough products to get there. And creating products takes time, takes money, it takes effort. Your product's already attractive to the clients. You see that through your affiliate marketing. So just at least within CLICKBANK, I can only speak to us here, be a part of their upsell flow. We actually allow you to be in our one-click upsells with different products, and so you could get free acquisition, and they get increased AOV to pay commission to the affiliates. So now they could get more payouts, they get better commissions, they get more traffic, and in turn, you get really easy acquisition of new customers. That's definitely a win-win-win if we could define it that way. Another one that I can't tell you, for anyone that has a copywriting background, this is shocking how underutilized this is, but customizing your swipes for top affiliates. And that doesn't mean just saying, hey, we got a new swipe that we test. We have some new creatives for you. No. What you should be doing, what I mean by customized swipes, is either asking the email affiliate, and this is great if a send didn't go well, maybe the CTR wasn't good. You say, hey, well, I don't want to be too much of a burden, but can you just send me maybe in the last 90 days the top 2 swipes on offers that really crushed for you? And I'm going to write you a customized swipe based on what's already working, and let's send it one more time, maybe throw in a commission boost if you need to. But now you're going to be speaking in the language their customers are already responding. If you know your offer converts, you know that swipe works somewhere else, it's not necessarily like your offer's problem, it's not even the list's problem. Maybe we just need to tweak it a little bit. On the flip side, if you don't want to have to ask, great to do this beforehand. If you're approaching a big affiliate, you know they do email. Get on their list, read their emails, spend some time, be a little patient. See if they send us something twice within a short period of time. That's the email to model. And customize it. They're going to love that too. They know you're doing something that they're not going to get anywhere else, and they don't have to customize it themselves, which could also help out deliverability. So exclusivity with the catch. Exclusivity is a big one I see for media buying affiliates all the time. And this is a scary one if you're an offer owner. I feel like I'm giving up so much. I'm going to give up Facebook or YouTube. That's an entire traffic channel. What happens if it doesn't work? Right? So I think one of the big things here is exclusivity could still be very valuable. You have a top producer, you want to keep them happy, you want to keep them sending. So make sure that exclusivity comes with some sort of attachment. One of the big things I like to do is exclusivity for creatives or the most optimized funnel. So you work with your media buyer and say, hey, we're going to let you do split tests. We're going to give you our most advanced and updated funnels, which gives you a conversion advantage over anybody else. You're going to have it for 45, 60, 90 days, whatever feels right for you. I'm a big fan of 45. Media buyers are a big fan of 90. But whatever that might be, give it a period and a tie to performance. So they understand they're getting exclusivity. They get an advantage because they have a dedicated page with top conversions, which means they're always outperforming. They have a way to outperform every other affiliate, and that advantage. But you do not have to be locked into only having one person handle all of that traffic, which sometimes is not advantageous to you by any means. And it's really important, say if you don't just do that and you're still doing exclusivity, make sure you put a time and a review period on that. I can tell you, I've seen far too many times, people feel the stress of a relationship and they decide to end up putting offers in there and exclusivity and it doesn't go well, right? And it starts going bad and they're locked in. So make sure you have some review period. Next, referrals. Maybe it's nothing tied to anything else except for I have affiliates and you have affiliates. Let's meet once a quarter to swap some affiliates. Again, this doesn't necessarily change what you guys are doing together, but it makes you more sticky in that relationship because you're focused on their profits and they're focused on yours. They will continue to send because they know those referrals matter. Even if the offer's not performing quite as well, the referrals are, and I want them. Access. If you have something that they would like, whether it's you've solved problems that they are having in their business right now, your software is something that's very valuable to them. Your business, whatever it might be, it might just be you. They want to spend some time with you. That access could be incredibly valuable. You could keep affiliates happy, sticky, and continuing to enjoy working with you for nothing more than a little bit of your time to solve something that they might need. Okay, omni-channel for all. So what I mean by this is this is actually a big thing that working with, I don't know if you guys are familiar with, I had Organifi earlier, but their affiliate manager talked about omni-channel approaches. They had a situation where they paid for a podcast sponsorship. Big time podcaster, they've been doing really well with it. They did the podcast and it nosedived. It did really, really poorly for them. And it was on a CPM basis. So they were looking at a pretty negative ROI. But most podcasts also have an email list. They were not promoting anything to this email list. So the affiliate manager just kind of asked, hey, well, so you guys have an email list. Would you be okay if we just send an email? Just one, like for no additional cost? And I'm like, yeah, sure, we could probably do that. They sent out the email, and they ended up making, I think it was $60,000 on that email for a $10,000 CPM, like a great ROI for them. And an asset that vendor, that affiliate, had no idea was even valuable to them. Right? So they continued to send, and they created a really valuable affiliate in a situation just by asking, what else? If you understand the business, there's all sorts of different ways that your affiliates are communicating with clients. Don't just stop at the one you started with. Find every single one. You'll extend the life and the performance and the happiness of your affiliates by going into more places. Whether it's a social post, whether it's a podcast, a newsletter, there's all sorts of different sources. We want to start looking at what those things might be. When you start doing that again, we really invade into different parts of that affiliate's business. We might find new sources that you weren't even touching because it's easy when they have one place that's working. Maybe we start trying, hey, do a social post. And you've never done a social post before. All of a sudden, you might just unlock influencer traffic with somebody that already had some success with you. Or if we might have a situation, again, we go back to that failed, great, expectations, where something didn't work, a send didn't work, just like that of the podcast. Or maybe it worked really well. Strike while the iron is hot. Hey, that did a great send. Let's do another email send, and I understand that you have a podcast. How about we record a pre-roll ad for you on this offer for all your podcast buyers or podcast listeners? Boom, I just opened up podcast, right? I have a new way to communicate with the audience. More touch points, more conversions, more performance, and a much better relationship. Some other ones too, we talked about didn't go well. It did go well. Performance is starting to slip is a great time to enter it. Oftentimes, they just stop working. This is one I've seen too with like media buyers before. They had an account get shut down, and then they end up going, oh, what happened? We reach out. They find out that they do run more than just one channel, right? So Facebook account shut down because we all understand that happens far too often. But guess what? They also run YouTube. So you just shift, and you don't lose traffic, you shift traffic. So important that you're asking at those times. So I have a bonus for you that I did not list in here. And this is one of these things that I could tell you it's a big pet peeve of one of our largest affiliates. It actually comes from Ed Scow. This is his quote. He said, treat your affiliates like they're lazy. And not that affiliates are lazy. Affiliates work really, really hard. They also play really, really hard. What we mean by that is far too often, I mentioned before, affiliates are busy. They have a lot going on. You do not want to have to work just to promote and make money for someone else. So do not be like, hey, guess what? I'm glad you want to promote our offer. Here's our affiliate tool page. You could find one of 8 swipes that you will read through that'll take you at least 30 minutes and then decide to generate your link and figure out this is the one that I'm going to copy and paste. And holy hell, that is way too much work. Versus, what if instead I just send you, hey, here's your link. Here is the swipe that is most performing in an easy copy and paste format, and you already told me your expectations, so I'm going to track that down so I know exactly what you need to do to hit success, and I'll follow up with you after you send the send. Can you just tell me the date that you're going to do that, right? Now all that affiliate has to do is tell you, yep, I'm going to send it this date. That's it, right? It's easy. You're making their life easy, meaning it's easy to promote, and you want to continue to do that. If it was a media buying affiliate, say it's Facebook, you know what they're going to want, right? Preemptively send it to them. Hey, here's some examples of some ads that we've seen that work. Here's your link. Here is a hash buyers list for you to do whatever you want with. Boom, here you go. Tell me if you have any questions. Do you need a pixel set up, right? Make their life easy. If you make their life easy, they're going to make you a lot more money, and they want to keep working with you. You're not paying for them. You're not a drain. And so far too often we see people just go through the motions. I have the tool page. I should use it. Send it out. I'm just trying to be efficient. You don't need to be efficient. Make the affiliate's life, make it working with you feel efficient for them. All right? Spend that extra time. Treat them like they are lazy. So, in conclusion, as we fly through all this stuff, and reiterate again, people over numbers, but not people without performance. Okay? So anytime you're structuring deals, get to know those affiliates. Make sure you could send a gift to them and know that they're going to like that gift. Because there's nothing worse than the sincerity of somebody sending you something you truly hate. If you ever sent me like a big thing of pickles, I'm like, hey, I'm glad you thought of me, but man, I hate pickles, right? Yeah, that doesn't feel good. So make sure you really understand them, but at the same time, you never leave those relationships without some expectation performance. Friends are great, but business partners you're friendly with are a lot better. I think we all agree with that. Know your numbers, but more importantly, know their numbers. Know what matters to each one of your affiliates. Also, automate your decisions. Do not have to try and remember all that. I fall victim far too time of the overconfidence of my own memory, which my wife consistently reminds me is not very good, right? So do not do that. Automate it. Make it so those decisions are easy. Be efficient in being able to reach out and know what to say and who you need to say it to. And get creative. Do not sit there and assume just because this is what you think is happening, it's the primary source of traffic. There aren't different deals and different ways that you could innovate and really create deep partnerships with your affiliates, right? It's a small number of affiliates that are going to generate most of your income. The 80-20 rule, it's not the 80-20 rule with affiliates. It's like the 95-5 rule. You care about the 5% of your affiliates that are going to drive 95% of your traffic. Find ways to be creative with them and squeeze every bit of juice out of those great relationships. Finally, treat those affiliates like they're lazy. Make sure they are like, you need to envision them as like 300 pounds, sitting in a recliner, doing nothing but eating chips and sending emails or buying Facebook ads, whatever it might be. That is what you should think of when you're trying to build things for your affiliates. And with that, I don't know if we have time for questions, but we have like 3 minutes. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them right now. And I can't see anyone's hand, so I have no idea if you're raising them. And if you don't, that's cool too. I don't know if I'm going to, but somebody can. Well, you guys have a fantastic day, and I look forward to enjoying Tel Aviv with the time I have left. Thanks so much.